Success is not something you simply desire, it's something you must take personally. Every great achievement in history has stemmed from an individual's relentless drive to prove something to themselves and the world. This journey, filled with obstacles, doubters, and inner battles, is one that requires you to make your dreams so personal that they become inseparable from who you are. The truth is, nobody can live your dreams for you. As you wake up each morning, there's a person staring back at you in the mirror, the only one responsible for your success. In a world full of distractions and people telling you what you can and cannot do, it's easy to feel lost or discouraged. But that's when you must dig deeper. The greatest motivation comes from within, from making the journey toward your goals a personal crusade. Why it has to be personal? Let me tell you a story. There was once a young boy who faced bullying every day at school. His self-esteem plummeted, and he lived in constant fear. But one day, something changed. He decided he would never allow anyone to make him feel small again. It wasn't about seeking revenge, it was about reclaiming his sense of worth. He took it personally. Every insult and every taunt became fuel for his journey. He spent countless hours honing his skills, not to prove others wrong but to prove to himself that he could be the best version of who he was. Years later, he stood as a champion in his field, unbeaten and unbroken, not because of external accolades, but because he had made his growth a personal mission. That's the kind of personal investment I'm talking about. When success becomes so personal that every step forward is like breathing, then you know you're on the right path. You stop waiting for external validation. You stop needing the approval of others to feel like you're making progress. And most importantly, you start owning your journey, transforming doubt into determination. We all face doubt. In fact, there will always be people who laugh at your ambitions or question your abilities. Some will tell you that you're dreaming too big, that your goals are unrealistic. This is where the shift happens, when you make their doubt personal. Their disbelief becomes your fuel. Remember, every time someone questions your dream, it's an opportunity to prove them, and more importantly, yourself, wrong. Take the example of a famous fighter who was ridiculed at the start of his career. Many said he was all hype, that he would never achieve anything of significance. But for him, every negative comment became motivation. It was personal. He trained harder, fought smarter, and eventually, he rose to the top of his sport. It wasn't the fame or fortune that drove him, it was the desire to silence the doubt, both from others and from within. The role of sacrifice. Achieving your dreams requires sacrifice. And not just the kind of sacrifice where you work hard for a few hours and call it a day. No, real success demands that you give up comfort, convenience, and sometimes even relationships. You have to want it so badly that you're willing to forego sleep, social events, and anything that doesn't align with your vision. Consider this. Imagine an artist who is obsessed with perfecting their craft. Every day, they spend hours practicing, refining, and experimenting. Friends invite them out, but they decline. They stay in, focused on their work, because they know that greatness doesn't come from half-hearted effort. They sacrifice today's pleasures for tomorrow's glory. This level of commitment isn't easy. It's lonely, but when it's personal, when the dream is deeply tied to your identity, the sacrifices feel worth it. You're not just chasing a goal, you're becoming the person you were always meant to be. The power of self-belief. One of the greatest obstacles to success is the lack of belief in oneself. Many people fail not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they doubt their ability to reach their full potential. But when you make your journey personal, something shifts. Self-belief becomes unshakable, and you no longer rely on external factors to validate your worth. Imagine you're standing at the edge of a cliff, staring down at an unknown future. It's terrifying, but you know that to grow, you have to take the leap. This leap of faith is the ultimate test of self-belief. Will you trust in your abilities? Will you bet on yourself, even when no one else will? When it's personal, the answer is yes. Learning from failure. Failure is inevitable. But here's the thing, when success is personal, failure is not the end. It's a stepping stone. Each setback becomes a lesson. Each obstacle an opportunity to grow stronger. You no longer fear failure because you understand that the journey is as important as the destination. There's a famous story about a woman who wanted to start her own business. She poured everything into it, time, money, and effort, but her first venture failed miserably. Most people would have given up. But for her, this was personal. She regrouped, learned from her mistakes, and tried again. Eventually, she built a thriving business. All because she refused to let failure define her. Conclusion: it's up to you. At the end of the day, success comes down to one simple truth: it's up to you. No one else can make your dreams a reality. No one else can walk the path for you. The journey is personal, and the power to achieve greatness lies within you. Every time you face a challenge, ask yourself this: how much does this matter to me? If the answer is everything, then you're on the right track. Keep going, keep pushing, because in the end, it's not about proving anything to anyone else, it's about proving it to yourself. Take it personal, and watch how everything changes.